Hi everyone, so in this very short video I'm going to be sharing with you an online lesson that I did with my learners, and the basic practice was to focus on speaking, and it was done through watching short videos and clips from the movie of Wonder. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to walk you through the slides that I have prepared and use with my learners to engage them to talk and speak. And of course the PowerPoint presentation is available right below this YouTube video in the description box, so you could easily click on the link and share this online lesson as well with your learners and have fun. So let's go through it very quick. So what I did is basically I chose certain scenes from the movie and scenes that I thought, might be interesting for my learners to talk about. And as you can see here, this is the school tour scene, and students watch the video, and you could stop and pause throughout, the video, and you would have on the left hand screen of the screen would have all the questions that you could discuss and use with your learners. So if we click over here on play, you would see that it would automatically play and the video would start, and your students would—
Wow, this reminds me of my guest spot on Law and Order.
So, the science elective is supposed to be really hard, so you probably won't be spending much time here.
Okay,
No offense, but if you've never been in real school.
So of course you can pause and you could ask about a certain character, what do you think about what he said, and so on. And you have guided questions as well available on the left-hand side that you could use with your students. So let's move on to the next slide. And over here you have another scene where it's first day at my new school scene, and you have a number of questions as well that you could use with your students. Some of them are about the scene, and some of them are again personal and related to your students themselves. And then you have share 2 things about yourself scene, and before the students get to watch the short video, they get to share 2 things about themselves and say things that they think others should know about them, and use, for example, sentences like I am, I like, I have, my favorites, and something else that they might think is interesting for others to know about them. And then you have share 2 things about yourself scene, where they actually get to watch the short clip of Augie's first classroom scene, and they have to focus here on their listening skills, and they have to listen and complete certain sentences that are available on the left-hand screen. And if I will play it very quick over here, you would see, for example, this is the first sentence where who is it that I, and they need to complete the sentence.
Also can tell us a lot about ourselves.
And
who is it that I aspire to be? That is the question.
So, for example, here, who is it that I aspire to be? They need to complete the sentence, and you could talk about words or vocabulary that they are not familiar with or they are not sure of, and explain them to your students as well. My first friend scene, and of course we talk about the theme of friendship here. And after watching this short scene, you would get to see that Augie and Jack develop, a relationship of friendship, hey, Jack, and they become very good friends. And you could talk about the character of Jack and describe him, and talk about Augie as well. And then again, another personal question where students mention at least things that, or things that they do with their friends as well.
Thanks for your help today.
Let's move on to the next slide, and here we have Jack talking about Augie, his best friend, and he describes his friend by using a structure of first, second, third, fourth. And what I did here is not only I used it for speaking, I also used it for writing, where my students wrote a paragraph and described their best friend, and they wrote a topic sentence, concluding sentence, and in between they squeezed all the beautiful information they have about their friend, and they used first, second, third, and fourth. And then you have there are no nice people scene, where we have Augie talking about a problem he faces, and of course he's a victim of bullying here, and we talked about things that Augie goes through and his feelings and what he does to feel better and so on. And then I am special, the I am special scene, where Augie talks to his mother following the incident of being bullied at school, and how his mother makes him feel better. And we talk about why it's important to talk about our problems with people who care about us. And of course, you see that a lot of themes are related to not only English, but really about being, you know, educators and talking about themes that are important in the lives of our students. And then you have the scene of Jack Will's redemption scene where he stands up for Augie. And of course, we can talk about, you know, our students' agreement with the method or strategy that Jack uses to defend his friend Augie. Do you agree with his, you know, use of violence here or not? Would you have acted differently? Would you have acted the same? And so on. And then you have the no tolerance for bullying scene where the principal talks about bullying at his school, and he confronts, you know, Julian and talks about, you know, actions that Julian has done. And of course, we see a change with Julian here. So you might want to talk about, you know, the change that happens with Julian here. And if you think that, you know, a change would happen with Julian in the future. And then you have 7th graders attack scene where, again, Augie is, you know, attacked by students or pupils who are older than him, and what he does to defend himself, and how other friends, you know, defend and stand with him, you know, during this very difficult time. And again, we talk about the theme of friends and friendship and how Augie has changed people around him. And then you have the award scene where the principal gives a speech, and we talk about, you know, if Augie deserved this reward. And again, we go back and review all the things that we have talked about throughout the lesson. And then you have the characters, and you get to describe all the characters in the movie. And you could talk about characters you liked, you didn't like, describe them, and so on. And finally, I thought about ending the lesson with quotes from the movie. And we read through some of them. As you can see here, it's not enough to be friendly. You have to be a friend. You could talk about the quote, what it means, if they, you know, agree, disagree with the quotes. And again, over here, another quote and another quote. And here are several more. And this is basically the lesson I use with my students. I hope that you find it interesting and you would like to try it out with your own learners. And I would like to note that this lesson is also available to use as a worksheet with your students. So you could also see the version of the PowerPoint slide below this YouTube video, and also a worksheet that you could print and download and teach in your classes later on, hopefully when you know, back to the routine of teaching in class as well. So all the best, and I hope you enjoyed it.